Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the next 3 months. We're going to do a past, present, future reading. You have this strategy card. It says, plan, scheme, strategize your future, and take the next right actions in your life. You have this lone wolf. It says, listen to your inner wolf and embrace your sacred wild nature that thirsts for freedom. So I think that, what's really funny is Capricorn just had a reading that said, don't over strategize, but your reading is saying strategize. So kind of the opposite of what they had, which is interesting. And I feel like I need to say that. So if you have Capricorn in your chart, you might want to go watch that reading. But I think having a strategy would be a good idea for you. And I also feel that sticking to something would be a good idea for you as well. Like if you have a plan for the end of the year, sticking to it and, seeing it through to the end would be a great idea. Here you go. You have the moon. The moon literally represents, coming up with a plan, not knowing what the outcome is going to be, but needing to not get off your path. We have these two pillars on the moon, and the two pillars are kind of like, shiny ball syndrome. They kind of represent, starting something but not finishing it, starting something and getting distracted by something that you think is better. And the moon really does encourage us to see something through to the end. In your past position, you have the 5 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, and the 3 of Swords. So this is like definitely conflicts that have been causing burdens in your life. And the 3 of Swords would kind of say that it's time to heal from these conflicts. So the 5 of Wands is conflict and competition. It's also like feeling like you have to, like you're trying to force things to happen is kind of the message I'm getting off of the card. And so if you have been feeling like you are forcing things to happen, then that is probably what needs to change. The 5s to me have the easiest solutions in the tarot. And so the 5 of Wands is a great card for learning from the competition, but not comparing to the competition. So, I think it would be a great time for you to look at what the competition is doing in your life, in any area of your life, and seeing how you can change it, make it better, do things differently. I think all that would be a good idea with this card. You have the 5 of Wands, the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is like these conflicts that are causing too many burdens. And, at the end of the year here, I would say that there is a lot of energy that I think is encouraging people to look at the burdens. He's very close to his goal, but he has these wands. They're all in front of his face, so he can't see how close he is to his goal because he's dealing with too much. And I feel a lot of you, and there's been a lot of messages at the end of the year here for asking people to simplify, to make things easier on themselves and like not overcomplicate things. And so I feel part of this is saying, even though it's coming up in your past position, I feel like it's saying right now, make sure that you are not overcomplicating your life. Make sure you're not like doing too much. Make sure you're not trying to, accomplish too much at once. Make sure that you're not giving away too much of your energy. All that would be a good idea. You do have the 3 of Swords, which says you're entering into a time of healing, I feel. Can represent a heartbreak. Some of you obviously could have experienced a heartbreak, but I feel like this reading is a little bit of a bigger picture reading, and I feel the 3 of Swords is definitely encouraging you to remove those swords from your own heart. Again, the 3 of Swords, we have to is a card of forgiveness. We have to forgive the past to remove those swords from our heart, and if we do that, we will be set free. So we don't have to forgive a person or something directly. We just have to forgive it in our heart, and then we can move forward. With the 5 of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups could be a person. You do end with the Knight of Cups, which could be a knight in shining armor, but this could say that you are conflicted about love, and every Aquarius I know is conflicted in love. So every Aquarius that I've ever met or dealt with is always in conflict about love, and I'm not saying that's true for all of you, but maybe some of you are like wondering if you want to invite love back into your life, like if you haven't had it for a while. And this doesn't have to be a specific person. This could just be the idea of love. The Page of Cups can also be your dream, and the Knight of Cups is dreaming. So we'll talk about that when we get to the Knight of Cups, but there could be some sort of dream that you also need to bring down to earth. With the 10 of Wands, you have the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is quick success, but you have the 8 of Wands here as well. And, again, I think that I look at the 8 of Wands, and I'm pretty sure I said this to you in your last reading as well last weekend. I'm doing 2 end of the year readings in a row. The last one was what moves should you make at the end of the year. So make sure to watch that one. It will be linked up at the end of this one if you haven't watched it yet. But, in that reading, I'm pretty sure I said something about how, the 8 of Wands is my card of removing friction. 10 of Wands is a lot of friction. He is moving forward very slowly. So 8 of Wands is a very good card, but it says you need to look at the things, I look at this as creating a slip and slide in life. Like, how can you remove things that are slowing you down and speed them up, or just remove things completely that are slowing you down. With the Three of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. I feel like some of you are afraid of being left out in the cold. And, again, this could be like part of the fear that you are healing, the whole being left out in the cold thing. And yeah, I have nothing else to say about that. so heal it. Next, in the area of your present position, you have this dark side of the moon. It says mystery on it. And you also have this ring around the moon that says protection on it. So you are protected if you are wanting to move towards a mystery. You have the moon card, which would be about moving towards a mystery. So some of you might be feeling a call to take action on something or to accomplish some sort of goal. But it's like the dark side of the moon card there, I feel, is saying that you can't see everything that you need to do. And that could be what's holding you back, is like not knowing all the steps that you have to take. But I kind of feel that the Eight of Wands is saying if you would take action, that you will accomplish your goal much faster than you think. The Eight of Wands is a quick conclusion or quick success or things happening quickly for you. But we have to take the first step. The Eight of Wands, I always say as well, these 8 wands are all hitting at different points. And so sometimes I think that we set off to accomplish something and we feel the need for things to go in order. And sometimes, not always, but definitely in your reading, I feel like the Eight of Wands is saying just like, don't worry if things aren't happening like in the order that you think they need to happen. Allow for messiness here, Aquarius, because, I don't know, that's what the reading is saying. You have the Page of Wands, a lot of this page energy at the end of the year, also a lot of aces. You actually don't have any aces yet. That could change in a minute. But the end of the year here could, be encouraging people to start new journeys, start new fresh starts in their lives. And I kind of just get that fresh start energy on the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is going on an adventure, and he is just excited about the adventure. That's all he needs to get started. He doesn't need details or anything else. He's just willing to get started because, something seems exciting to him, and that's it. He is just happy to be able to go on an adventure. So I feel for a lot of you, you're about to go on an adventure. He also has this like feather in his cap here, but it's a very small feather. And, if you look at the Fool card, for example, his feather is like this long, right? Super long on the Fool. And, the feather in the cap kind of represents knowledge or having accomplished something before. So he is like starting something where he doesn't know everything, but his feather will grow as he learns. So I think there's something important about that for you, where it's like you will learn as you go. You have the Seven of Wands, definitely time to open up. So I feel that if there are things that you want in your life, I feel the Seven of Wands is encouraging you to let your guard down. I also think that it would be an amazing time for you to double down on anything that you are committed to. So the Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is going to be successful, when you truly believe it deep down inside, that's when you will be the most successful. But we have to like develop that belief with the Seven of Wands. And so there's a million ways to do it, but I would do whatever you can to prove to yourself that what you want is going to work. You might have to prove this through small steps, through removing friction or whatever. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. So Ten of Pentacles is a tree of life, and it just represents kind of getting everything you want and desire. Of course, Ten of Pentacles is something that we work towards forever. I think the Ten of Pentacles isn't necessarily something that we get overnight. I think it's something that we build for a lifetime. And a lot of you could be more focused on, that dream life or, kind of making it rain, right? The Ten of Pentacles, some people say that it looks like those pentacles are raining down on the people that are on the card. So a lot of you could also be trying to improve your finances. With the Page of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups. Wouldn't be an Aquarius reading without the Seven of Cups coming in here to throw a wrench in the works, right? So Seven of Cups can represent being spoiled for choice, having a lot of options, and the Seven of Cups kind of says you need to focus and get something done. I always say to you, Aquarius, that you could be dreaming of something with the Seven of Cups, but there are good things and bad things in the Seven Cups, and the card itself says you need to manifest those cups here on earth no matter what. So I feel for a lot of you, this is about kind of like bringing those cups down to earth. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune would be a change in your fortunes, so I do feel your fortunes could be changing at this time, which is great. This would also, Wheel of Fortune, I always say, one of my favorite things to do with the Wheel of Fortune is to double down on the good stuff, which I literally said on the Seven of Wands. So the wheel is always spinning, and we have to choose which direction the wheel is spinning. We have to double down on the good stuff to get it spinning in the right direction, but we also can't avoid our problems. We have to, the trick with the Wheel Wheel of Fortune is to take care of your problems right away instead of letting them build into something bigger and bigger and bigger. I always say, like, even just a couple weeks ago, I moved like 5 times over the past like 2 years, something like that. I don't even know. I've lost count at this point. And, I didn't take care of something in one of the states that I used to live in at the DMV. It wasn't really that big of a deal, but, it was a pain in the ass. I was on the phone for like 3 hours just waiting to talk to the DMV, right? Because I had to take care of this thing for my old car that I don't even own anymore. And, it was a pain in the ass because I didn't take care of it right away. If I took care of it right away, I probably could have just driven to the DMV and like in 30 minutes, I could have taken care of the issue. So, again, the Wheel of Fortune says don't let things that you can take care of right away turn out to be something much bigger, right? In your next row for your future position, you have this starfish. It says open to infinite possibilities. You also have this buffalo. It says the abundant universe will provide. So again, you don't need to know all the details of how you're going to accomplish something. The abundant universe will show you the way. The starfish is also about being flexible. The starfish can kind of move in any direction it wants. So it says stay flexible in how you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. You have the Page of Pentacles, the Judgment card, and the Moon. The Page of Pentacles could be good news or communication coming in for you. So if you are hoping for like news, or if you're waiting to get approval for something, you could be getting approved for something at the end of the year here. It's definitely popping into my head. The Page of Pentacles can represent that, but I don't always feel that with the Page of Pentacles, but I do. So that's good. I also feel this could just be communication with like a new person if you're looking for love. You have the Judgment card. Judgment is about waking up to your purpose. Probably something that you're going to have to let go of from the past. They are standing in these coffins. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life, and they are being called to step into their new life, and they have to leave the coffin behind. The coffin could be old situations, old belief systems, old whatever that they have to release. And so a lot of you are being asked to release things that no longer serve you, I believe, with this Judgment card. I also feel that some of you could be having like a little bit of a wake-up call at the end of the year here. It doesn't feel like a bad thing to me, but it could be like a light bulb moment, or it could be like a revelation that you're having that changes the direction of your life. I say that also because you have the Moon. We were talking about the Moon and how the Moon can represent accomplishing something without knowing how you're going to accomplish it. There are these mountains in the background, and the Moon is part of the Fool's journey, and he's trying to get to these mountains. Mountains can represent a challenge, but they also represent an achievement, because where do you get the best views? You get the best views at the top of a mountain. So the whole point is to climb the mountain. It's also, the whole point of this card is to realize that you won't always be in the dark. The moon comes up, the moon goes down, the sun comes up, and eventually you will have the sun energy, and you'll be able to see what you need to see. So the Moon is really about kind of gaining clarity eventually, and it says right now you might not know how you're going to accomplish this 7 of Cups goal that you have, but eventually you will get the answers. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the 5 of Swords. I kind of feel like there's some sort of risk that you have to take. 5 of Swords, to me, can represent a separation. And there's no doubt that you could be separating away from old ideas or old things in your life. But, the 5 of Swords, this really could also represent taking a risk. And so I feel like you have to take a risk to use your voice with the Page of Pentacles, mostly because you have 2 pages. Both, pages can represent messengers, even though technically knights represent messengers. But these two definitely, and you have 3 knight pages right here. So this could be like the risk of speaking up, the risk of communicating your like wants, needs, and desires in like work or business, asking for a raise or a promotion. And I think if you take the risk, this looks like you're going to get approved for something. With the Judgment card, you have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is about following your heart, and definitely with the Knight of Cups, I would say that if your heart is guiding you in a direction, or if you're feeling pulled towards something that could have to do with love. Again, it doesn't have to be a person. This could be something that you will love, or something that you will love doing in your life. Then I would move towards love. And again, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be a thing. With the Moon, you have the 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is what you've been working on so far, is it worth it or not? Or, are there better places that you could be putting your energy so that you can get the things that you want? I also think that it's interesting. You have 2 sevens. 2 sevens to me represents internal fears that don't exist. Right here. And then we go to the Moon, which also represents fears. So it's definitely time to release your fears, right? Next, in the area of your outcome, you have this Seek Assistance card. You also have this Akashic Records card. I kind of feel like something is written in the stars here. It's like something is meant to be, or something is meant to happen no matter what. And maybe you need to ask for help, of course, with this Seek Assistance card. And you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things when there are many ways to do whatever you're trying to do. You know, she is stuck thinking that she can only do something one way. And if she would stay flexible and open, she would discover that there are many ways to make something happen. So again, I think you need to be open and flexible with the Eight of Swords, and, you know, just look for other ways of doing things. The Eight of Swords says, like, don't stay stuck, and, you know, set yourself free. And also ask for help. You have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups could definitely be a Knight in Shining Armor. There's definitely a little bit of love here, so, you know, if you want it, there could be a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you. The Knight of Cups is also dreaming. He's normally looking into this cup, and he is scrying. He's imagining what his future life would look like, and he's standing in the desert, but he has this water flowing in front of him. I've been saying all year that I feel that the Knight of Cups energy perfectly describes the year. The year is, it kind of seems like we don't have what we need, like we're standing in a desert, we don't have the resources to get something to grow. But if we just start working, if we just take the first steps, what we're working on will grow. But we have to get started, even though we don't feel like we will have what we need. So again, I think the Knight of Cups is saying, start taking those steps towards your dream. You have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work. You have this card here that says seek assistance. So if you are working on any projects, businesses, ideas, whatever, I feel that this card is saying it's time. It would be a good time for you to kind of like, you know, seek assistance and to look at the things that you're trying to accomplish and really pay attention to what you're trying to accomplish as well. The Three of Pentacles is a card of quality work. So whatever you're working on, I feel that you are creating quality. You are doing something that will probably get attention or will stand out. So, you know, again, I would keep working on whatever you're working on here. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Moon again. So you have the Moon twice, which would say that, again, you are not seeing things clearly. The Moon just says one foot in front of the other. Start taking the steps necessary to get something to grow. And even if you're not sure if you're moving in the right direction, the Moon says that you are. And eventually you will see the truth. But there might be like a certain amount of steps that you have to take, is kind of what I feel with the Moon card. Like maybe you have to take 10 steps to see that your idea for your business is going to work or whatever. You can't just like dip your toes in the water. I kind of feel like you have to go all in here. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the the Knight of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is about work hard, play hard, so I'd make sure to balance things out. I kind of feel like you're going back and forth in your head on love. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, for some of you, it's like you could be going back and forth thinking, should I or shouldn't I, go in this direction? And I don't know. I really can't answer that question for you. You're all different, and you all have to make your own decisions. So I would say it's really up to you. But if you want a connection, I think that there could be a very strong connection coming in for you, but you're going to have to, make the commitment, right? But the Two of Pentacles is a choice. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Fool. Can't make that up. We were talking about the Fool with the Page of Wands. The Fool says it's time for you to take a leap of faith in a new direction. It's time for you to take control and really make something happen. So I feel that for a lot of you here. You have this Tankard card. It says celebration, fun, and enjoyment. Pretty much everyone at the end of the year has had something about like needing to have more fun. You even have the Two of Pentacles, work hard, play hard. You have the Moon, which can be a little bit too much of a serious energy. The opposite is the Sun, which is playfulness, happiness, love, joy, peace, all that other good stuff. So I would say that, carving out time for fun is important. You have the Shield that says you need to defend yourself. Well, Five of Wands, at the beginning of your reading. So you could be needing to work through, any conflicts that you're dealing with, and don't let them turn into something bigger. You have two cards here. This Kangaroo, it says unsettled times need to plan ahead. You have this Leg, it says stepping into new experiences. Yeah, sometimes unsettling energy isn't necessarily a bad thing if it pushes us into new experiences. You could also be making changes in your job or your career because of whatever's going on in the world, or things that are happening. You are one of the only signs that hasn't had the Tower, and they're definitely, I think we're gonna have a crazy end to the year. So again, there could be some craziness in the world or things going on that cause you to make a change, but I would say this is a good change. That Leg card is a good card in this deck. You have this carriage. It says a journey, either physical or mental. Some of you could be traveling, or maybe you need a vacation, or maybe you need a break, and it could be like a short break as well. So I think that if you're taking a break, or if you're going on vacation or traveling for whatever reason, this could be very good for you. You also have this moon card. It says changes in your life, and there could be some sort of big change coming. There is a big change coming in for you. I mean, you have the judgment card, which judgment is all about waking up to a new life and stepping into a new experience. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be stepping into a new experience if it wants to focus. But, I think it will be a very abundant experience as well. So love it. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the end of the year.